sure you're all noticed that I wear the same shirt on a lot of these videos because I work a lot. This is my work shirt. It's not quite as haute couture as you would expect from me, but it is what it is. I wanted to talk about something very depressing and urgent. This nuclear. Well, I don't even know how I segue into this. It's this neo Cold War that's going on. It's funny. I used to really fear climate change, and I still do for obvious reasons. But the most imminent threat to the human species now seems like it's nuclear warfare. I had a nightmare a few months ago where there's a very detailed nightmare where I was sleeping in the dream. I woke up and it was a normal, beautiful day like this one. And I go downstairs to watch TV, which is, the dream already doesn't make sense because I don't watch TV. But then I turn on the TV and a PSA comes up saying, we have just intercepted missiles from Russia and China, and it's going to land in these cities in the United States, or well, he just sent a few of them, but some of them are going to strike these cities. And there was a countdown timer, and I freak out like as you would, and I hide. Well, what can you do in that situation? And suddenly I hear aircraft flying above the house, and then I hear nothing for a while. It's just silence and taciturnity. And then all of a sudden, everything just turns bright like the sun. Imagine if the sun was right there, in the sky or something. Or, I know that's a pretty weird image, but just imagine it was just right there. I couldn't see anything for a little bit. And then I heard this loud explosion. And then there was this gust of wind, the strongest wind that you could ever imagine. Just broke all of the glass in the house. And then I woke up. So it's obviously that's something that's been on my mind a lot recently, especially considering what's going on with Ukraine. Which, for a while, I didn't have the authority to kind of speak on because I had to do research into foreign policy since over the last 80 years. It's a very complex situation. Because if I'm not mistaken, this is the first belligerent power that the United States has faced that had possession of nuclear bombs. But my thing is, everyone that's urging for no-fly zones, I don't think they realize what's going to happen if you do that. If you do that and you strike down one of Russia's planes, what do you think is going to happen? You think they're just going to like that and it's going to be fine? And moreover, since 1945, I think it was Eisenhower, if I'm not mistaken, had an agreement with Joseph Stalin that he wasn't going to expand NATO. And not only did we expand, we put military bases right up on their border all over the world, in Africa and Europe and Middle East and places like that. So imagine if Russia had an agreement with Mexico and their allies in Mexico, and they started building military bases right on El Paso, in the El Paso border. I think that's the border of Texas, right? Or they started aiming missiles at us. Would we like that? Mm-mm. So everyone's shocked that he did what he did. But if you understand foreign policy in the last 80 years, it completely makes sense. Not that I'm defending Russia. I'm not. I think Putin is a piece of shit, and he's endangering the future of the human species by doing what he's doing, just because he wants oil. and that's why he's doing it. It has nothing to do with cultural syncretism or cultural. What's the better word for that? Cultural homogeneity. I think I'm using that word wrong. Cultural cohesion between. Don't laugh at me if I said that word wrong. A cultural cohesion between the Ukrainian and Russian state because they share a lot of culture and history together. But why the fuck would Ukraine want to be a part of Russia considering what Russia did to Ukraine last time when they were like under Russia's rule? The conflagration of crops, or the Holodomor, where they killed millions of people and Joseph Stalin burnt crops and starved the Ukrainian people. Why the fuck would they want to be a part of Russia after that? That doesn't make any sense. Like that's like, I don't know, I can't think of any specific examples, but that's like after the Nanking massacre, Japan just takes over China, and like, do you think China would want to be part of Japan? No. So, I guess the whole point is like a very complex situation, and although I do think that what's happening in Ukraine is horrible, I think I put the future of the human species before a nation state or a country. So, in other words, like, we needed to kind of tread lightly on this situation because it's very scary. It's just a weird world. The world's losing its mind a little bit. I don't know if anyone's noticed. If you haven't noticed, you're paying attention. But yeah, it's just really weird. And then you have, we're giving millions of dollars in aid to Ukraine, and like, yeah, it's just a very sticky situation, it's a dicey situation. But oh yeah, I support Ukraine, and I support the sovereignty. I think they're gonna get invaded completely after a while. I don't think they have the militaristic wherewithal to stand up to Russia. But if you're a part of the ASAP battalion and you're a racist Nazi piece of shit, like, you can go, but I don't give a fuck. You can die. You can die. I don't give a fuck about you. But normal Ukrainians who aren't racist and like they just want their country back, yeah, I support. That's just fucking horrible. Children are dying, civilians are getting killed. Yeah, the white people are fighting each other again. And every time they do, they endanger the entirety of the human species. Yeah. But like, I kind of wanted to make a segue into something positive. If you're thinking about nuclear holocaust all the time, which is very horrible, I can't remember who said this, but it was probably some general or something, some historical figure, but they said that in a nuclear war, the living would envy the dead, because the world they would live in would be civilizations completely crumpled. There's no laws, there's no social safety nets, there's no hospitals, there's no access to food that's palatable and edible and safe to eat, no water, no access to medications, even if you have a mental illness or anything like that. People would just be every man for themselves, and it was just people being on the streets, or what's left of the streets, fending for themselves, and yeah, it would just be horrible. And you just have radiation poisoning, and I don't know what happens when you have radiation poisoning, but it'd be all types of weird fucking shit would be happening to you. There's no world I want to live in. That's why when it does happen, I hope I'm close to the bombs as possible. So I don't have to, I'm terrified to death, but like, in the same breath, I don't want to live in that world. But how do you stop fearing it? The bomb. All this is meaningless anyway. the universe is gonna end trillions of years from now. As per the drop of heat left through the universe, climate change might completely collapse human civilization. It's very dire times, and then nuclear war. But think of it as on a microcosm. I think I'm using that word right, not a macrocosm, a microcosm. Think of it as from your perspective. You're going to die anyway. And all right, what? And you'll never be remembered because human civilization is going to collapse eventually, and then the universe is going to end. So it's kind of pointless, but just live every single day like it's your last one. Live every single minute like it's your last one. Live every single second like it's your last one. Breathe every atom, molecule of oxygen that you can, and then just enjoy your life and just go about your day like it's not happening and there's not like dire geopolitical things going on. Because if you don't, you would just lie in your bed all day and not go outside and not live your life. So, just kind of use humor. You know? Just stop fearing the bomb. Because I think that's what the people in power want. You know, they want you to just be scared. And I'm not talking about like, you know, I'm talking like Putin. Basically, Putin's threatening nuclear war. He wants you to be scared. He wants you to be scared to go outside. He wants you to be terrified. He wants to terrify people. So don't let him win. Live every day like it's your last. And he cannot win. Stop fearing the bomb. The bomb's not so bad.